A table is a useful way to organize and display complex related data in a compact format. The rows contain the items, in this example, one row for each song. The columns display item attributes like the song name, artist, length, and year. The intersection of each row and column is called a cell. Each cell holds the value of each item and attribute. So the length of complicated is 404, for example. HTML provides a table element to represent tabular data. Tables are a bit more complex than most other elements in that they have multiple nested elements. Minimally, a table requires a table element to define the table, tr or table row elements to define each row of the table, and td or table data elements for each cell within a row of the table. Here is how the browser displays the table by default, without any styling. But often we want our columns to have a header, so we also add thead to specify the table header, tr for the header row, and th for each table column header. And now that we've defined a header for the table, we also define where the table body starts, so we need tbody for the table body. And this is how the column headers appear. In addition to the column headers, we may want a heading that describes the purpose of our table. That's useful for the user and for screen readers. We could use heading elements such as H3 or H4, but a better semantic choice is to use the table caption element. We insert the caption within the table element, so it's clearly associated with that table. The table caption appears here. Let's create a new page for our website that displays a table of all of our virtual pets. We are back in VS Code with the Pet Cafe folder open. Recall how we create a new page in VS Code? Select the File menu option, then New File, or open the Explorer. Select New File in the icon bar that appears when you mouse near the folder name. In either case, you get a box to type in the name of the new file. We'll call it pet-list. And don't forget to add the .html extension, and press Enter. Click the Explorer icon again for more space. What's the first thing we do when creating a new HTML page? If you said create the supporting structure, you are correct. We'll again use the Emmet tools in VS Code to create that structure for us. Type a bang or exclamation point and press Enter or Tab from the Emmet menu that appears. And our structure is created for us. Following our convention for descriptive titles, we'll set the title of this page to a description of the page, Meet Our Virtual Pets, a colon, and our website name, Virtual Pet Cafe. We also want each of our pages to have a copyright notice, so let's copy it from our home page. Click on index.html, copy the footer element with its contents, click back on pet-list.html, and paste it just above the body closing tag. We want to organize our page, so let's define a main section for our table using the main element. We'll give the main section a header using H1 and type Meet Our Virtual Pets. Next, let's add a paragraph of text. Opening P element. They are looking forward to meeting you. And the closing P element. Now we are ready to create the table. We can type in the table element and all of its nested child elements, or Emmet has a shortcut for tables as well, though it is a bit complex. We start by typing table without the left angle bracket. Then we want nested child elements, so we type greater than. But we want two child elements for a table header and table body. In Emmet, we group the syntax for multiple child elements using parentheses. So I'll type two sets of parentheses for the two child elements. Inside the first set of parentheses, we type the child element name, thead. Nested under the header, we want one row, so we type a greater than sign and tr. Nested under that row, we want a th element for each of our 4 columns. so we type another greater than sign, th, times 4. So that describes the header. Are we ready to continue? In the second set of parentheses, we type the name of the second child element, tbody. Then specify the child elements with a greater than sign. Type tr for the table row, and nested under that row, indicated with another greater than sign, we type td for the table data. We want 4 columns, so we can use the Emmet multiplication symbol, type times 4. But wait, we actually want 3 rows of 4 columns. How do we specify that? We again use the grouping syntax, which is parentheses. We want to multiply a tr with its 4 td elements, so we add another set of parentheses around the tr and td times 4. Then use the multiplication symbol times 3 for the 3 rows. Let's review what we have here. We define a table element. Nested under the table element, we group 2 child elements, thead and tbody. Nested under the thead element is a single row, tr. Nested under the tr is 4 column headers, th. Then nested under the tbody element is a set of 3 rows, tr, each with 4 columns, td. Press Tab or Enter, and it's like magic. If Emmet didn't work for you, or if that syntax was just too much to deal with, feel free to type in the elements by hand. Notice the cursor is in place, ready for us to type in a column header. Specify name, tab, type, tab, breed, tab, and temperament. Typing tab again takes us down to the table data. For Yo-Yo, the first TD is the name column, so we type Yo-Yo and tab. The second TD is the type of pet. Yo-Yo is a cat, and tab. Next is the breed, so we type tabby and tab. And for the last column, we specify a temperament of gentle. That wasn't too bad. Let's tab again to get to the next row. Specify a name of Ben, and tab. Type is dog, tab. Breed is corgi, tab. And for temperament, we'll go with friendly. Tab again to get to the last row. And one more time with feeling. In the last row, we'll type Callie, tab. Cat, tab. Calico, tab. And independent. And we're done. We have our table. What do you think? Is the shorthand Emmet syntax helpful, or more trouble than it's worth? Now let's see what our table looks like. Click Go Live to see the web page in the browser. I'll rearrange the windows. And there it is. It's not beautiful, but it's a table. One thing missing from our table is the table heading. Going back to VS Code and scrolling up, let's add a caption element to describe the table's purpose. We add the element immediately after the opening table element. In the content, we type the caption, our virtual pets. Looking in the browser, we see our table caption. We'll make this table prettier in the course on CSS later in this series, but for now, we've finished another page of our website. Yay! Close the browser, and in VS Code, click to close Live Server. Let's head back to the slides. So, the table element marks a set of information as a table. Use CSS instead of tables for general page layout. Using table elements for organizing the layout of web pages is not recommended, though you may see it frequently. Use tables for tabular data. The caption element provides the table description. The thead element marks the header for the table columns. And tbody marks a set of rows for the body of the table. Use tr for every table row, th for every column header, and td for the table data in each cell. The content of the td element provides the data shown in that cell. Next up, let's add some images.